Hi friends, this is Nagajyoti working as an assistant professor in Department of ECE in St. Peter's Engineering College. So in this session I want to discuss about concept of Boolean algebra. But before going for the Boolean algebra, we must know the basic concepts which are related to that Boolean algebra. So here in case of an Boolean algebra, the complete Boolean algebra deals with a Boolean function. So here Boolean function itself represents which is having some variables, either capital letters or a small letters with a logic functions. So here in order to understand this concept, first we must know a basic things in terms of a digital system design. So the basic building block in case of a digital system design is a logic gate. This is a basic building block which is used to design any concept of a digital system. So here a logic gate is a basic element which is used in a digital system. Basically, these logic gates will perform three different elementary operations. Means the basic operations of a logic gate are AND gate, OR gate and NOT gate. So before going for this logic gate, the first thing is we should know what is meant by logic. So here logic represents either the corresponding voltage value of that particular may be high or a low. So as we know that in the complete first unit, first part deals with the different types of number based conversions, what is the importance of the number based conversions, and where we are going to use these number systems. So as a complete course deals with only the two levels of logic, that is zeros and ones. If the corresponding voltage level is high voltage level, it is represented by logic 1. If it is a low voltage level, it is represented by logic 0. So here a logic gate is nothing but a gate is defined as in which it consists of minimum of two inputs but a single output. So whatever may be the gate, there should be a minimum of two inputs except one gate which is nothing but a NOT gate. So a gate consists of minimum of two inputs and a single output is called as a gate. But it is not valid for NOT gate. NOT gate is a special type of gate in which it is having a single input and a single output. So coming to these digital logic gates are basically of three. One is AND gate, OR gate and NOT gate. Here the AND gate is nothing but dot. The symbolic notation for an AND gate is NOT, which will perform a multiplication operation of the logic levels. Here logic levels are nothing but zeros and ones. But whereas OR gate is used in order to perform an arithmetic operation as plus, that is the symbolic notation for the OR gate is plus, but it will not perform the arithmetic operation. Instead it will perform the Boolean operation of an OR. And third gate is a NOT gate which performs a complement operation. So here each gate is having its own logic symbol and each gate is represented with a Boolean function and each gate is having some functionality. So the function of each gate can be represented in the form of a table. Such a table is called as a truth table. So here what is meant by a truth table is a table which gives a relationship between the input variables and the output variables is called as a truth table. So from this truth table we are going to see what is the significance and what is the symbolic notation of each gate. So the first gate is an AND gate. So basically AND gate is used whenever we are representing any gate, always the gate should be represented with a capital letters. So here A and D is nothing but an AND gate which is written in the caps, and it is basically used in order to implement logical AND operation. Here AND operation is nothing but a dot operation. So the first figure shows the circuit symbol or a symbolic representation of an AND gate. So just now, as I have told you, each and every gate is minimum consists of two inputs. So the inputs for this AND gate are A and B. So here A and B are inputs and the output is C, and it is the symbolic representation is, it is like a D structure. So the boolean function or a boolean expression for an AND gate is, here boolean expression or a boolean function is representing the output in terms of the input. So here the output variable is C. So C here I am representing in terms of the input variables which are A and B. So C is equivalent to A dot B. So in this, as we are having two input variables, those variables are A and B. If there are n variables, we can write 2 power n combinations. So as I am having here two variables, I can write 2 power 2, which is nothing but 4 different combinations. Those 4 different combinations are 0 0, 0 1, 1 0, 1 1. Or in the other way, I can say that 2 square is nothing but 4. Always the numbers will start from 0. So the total numbers are 4 starting from 0 to 3. If you convert that 0 to 3 decimal numbers into the binary form, we'll be getting an equivalent for 0 is 0 0, for 1 is 0 1, for 2 is 1 0, for 3 is 1 1. So we are writing here all those 4 combination of numbers from 0 to 3, and the output is C, which is nothing but A dot B. So here the first combination is 0 dot 0, which is equivalent to 0. 0 dot 1 is also 0. 1 dot 0, 0. 1 dot 1, 1. This itself indicates if all the inputs are high, the output is high. Means if at least one of the input is low, the output is equivalent to low. Or in simple words, in the electrical notation or electrical understanding, I can say that your AND gate is nothing but a series setup. So here if the two switches, if a bulb is connected through two switches, if both the switches are on, then only bulb will glow. If at least one of the switches open, the bulb will not glow. So here the equivalent for the AND gate is nothing but an series circuit. So from this I can give a conclusion statement for an AND gate. If all the inputs of an AND gate are high, the output is high. If at least one of the input is low, the output is equivalent to low. The next type of gate is OR gate. It is used in order to perform logical OR operation. The first figure shows the symbolic notation of an OR gate. Here also we are taking two input OR gate in which it consists of two input variables A and B, and the output variable is C. The symbol for the OR gate is plus. So the boolean function or a boolean expression for C is equivalent to C equal to A plus B. So here as that of the AND gate, as here also we are having two inputs, so we'll be getting four combinations 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. The first one is 0 plus 0, that is 0. So here plus is nothing but we are not performing arithmetic operation, we are performing logical operation. Logical itself indicates if at least one of the input is 1, output is equivalent to 1. So 0 or with 1 is equivalent to 1. So the second is nothing but a truth table which gives a relationship between the input as well as the output. So from this truth table we can give a conclusion in such a way that if at least one of the input is 1 for an OR gate, the output is equivalent to 1. So the equivalent circuit of an OR gate is nothing but parallel circuit. So in case of a parallel circuit, there will be n number of paths. If at least one switch is open, we can the current is flowing in the other path. So here the example for the OR gate is nothing but parallel circuit. The example for the AND gate is nothing but a series circuit. And the next type of basic gate is nothing but a NOT gate, or it is also called as an inverter. So here it is used in order to perform complement of a function. So the first is nothing but a symbolic representation. The symbolic representation of a NOT gate is triangle followed by a bubble. So wherever a bubble is there, that itself indicates it is a complement. If a symbol doesn't have a bubble, it is nothing but called as a buffer. So the basic difference between a buffer and a NOT gate is nothing but whatever the input which you are giving, the same will be transferred at the output in case of a buffer. But in case of a NOT gate, if the input is logic 0, the output is logic 1, that is complement or opposite. So here this is a special type of gate in which it consists of a single input. So the input is A and the output is B. So the Boolean expression is B is equivalent to A complement. Here complement is nothing but a bar. So writing A upon A, we are representing a dash over there. So here if input is 0, output is 1. If input is 1, output is 0. So here buffer is nothing but, if we observe the NOT gate as well as this buffer, the only difference is it also consists of a single input and single output, but the symbolic notation in case of a NOT gate is will be having triangle followed by a bubble, but whereas in case of this logic buffer will be having only a triangle. So if input is A, output is B, B is equivalent to A, means whatever the input which we are giving, the same output we are getting in case of a buffer. The second, whatever the gates which we have discussed till now, all those gates are basic gates. Coming to the next type of gate, which is nothing but called as a NAND gate. So in case of a NAND gate, it is, the name itself indicates not followed by an AND. That is, we'll be having an AND gate followed by a NOT gate. So here in the logic symbol, the notation for this circuit diagram is AND gate symbol is nothing but a D like structure. NOT gate is nothing but triangle followed by a bubble. Even we can draw the NOT gate triangle followed by a bubble or just a bubble. Both are one and the same. So here NAND gate is nothing but AND followed by NOT. So the inputs for this gate are A and B and the output is C. So the AND is A dot B. NOT is nothing but complement. So A dot B whole complement is the logical expression for the NAND gate. So as we are having two inputs A and B, will be getting four different combinations. Those four combinations are 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Coming to the output, that is A dot B whole complement. 0 dot 0 is 0, but whole complement is nothing but reverse. So that is the reason the first case will be getting output is equivalent to 1. Similarly for the second case, 0 dot 1 is also 0, but the complement of 0 is 1. So the output is 1. 1 dot 0 is 0, but the complement of 0 is 1, so output is equivalent to 1. 1 dot 1 is 1, complement of 1 is 0. So from this we can say that the conclusion for the NAND gate is, if at least one of the input is low, if at least one of the input is low, the output is high. If all the inputs are high, then only output is equivalent to low. But even though there is a single input as logic 0, automatically the output is equivalent to 1. The next type of gate is NOR gate. So NOR itself indicates OR followed by NOT. Here OR is nothing but A plus B. A plus B whole complement is nothing but called as a NOR gate. So here the first one represents the symbolic structure of a NOR gate, second represents the truth table, and the boolean expression for this NOR gate is a plus b whole complement. So how to write down this truth table is, as it is having two inputs a and b, will be writing four different combinations. So 0 plus 0, which is equivalent to 0, but it is complement of the output, so 0 complement is 1. 0 plus 1 or 0 or with 1 is 1, complement of 1 is 0. 1 or with 0 is 1, complement of 1 is 0. 1 or with 1 is 1, complement of 1 is 0. So the conclusion for the NOR gate is, if at least one of the input is high, output is low. If all the inputs are low, then only the output is equivalent to high. The conclusions are very important whenever we are dealing with the next type of circuit, such as sequential circuits. So please try to remember the conclusion of each and every gate, so that it will be easy for the analysis and designing of a digital system design course. The next type of gate is exclusive OR gate. So here exclusive OR gate is a special type of gate in which we can use these XOR gate in our day-to-day life in many applications. So just after completion of these truth table and this description, I'll tell you one simple example for this XOR gate. So the first figure shows the exclusive OR gate. So here the difference between the exclusive OR gate and the OR gate is, in case of an OR gate, just we are drawing a symbol curve followed by a closed path. Here along with OR gate you are drawing other more curve, and there should be some gap between the two curves. So this is the two input XOR gate in which it consists of two inputs A and B. It is not a compulsion that a gate should have only two inputs. It should have minimum of two inputs but any number of inputs, but always it consists of a single output. But only for the NOT gate will be having single input and a single output. Coming to the truth table for the XOR gate, here if both the inputs are same, this is I'm specifically saying only for the 2-bit XOR gate. So in case of a 2-bit XOR gate, if both the inputs are same, output is 0. If both the inputs are different, output is equivalent to 1. So here in the first case, both the inputs are 0 0, which are same, so output is 0. The second case is 0 1, both the inputs are not same, so output is equivalent to 1. The third case 1 0, as both the inputs are different, output is 1. 1 1, again both the inputs are same, output equal to 0. So whatever the statement which I am telling, this is valid only for the 2 input XOR gate. In case of a 2 input XOR gate, if the inputs are same, output is 0. If inputs are different, output is 1. That is the reason we can also call this exclusive OR gate as anti-coincidence gate. Anti itself indicates opposite. Coincidence is nothing but equal. Whichever the inputs are not equal, then only output is equivalent to 1. So the exclusive OR gate is also called as anti-coincidence gate. Or I'm generalizing this XOR gate in the other way. Whenever there are odd number of ones, output is 1. If I am taking it as 3 input XOR gate, in case of a 3 input XOR gate, I'll be having 3 inputs as A, B and C. Let me take the output is equivalent to D. If I am taking 3 inputs, I'll be getting 8 different combinations, that is 0 0 0 to 111. So wherever the number of ones at the inputs are odd, means if the number of ones are either 1 or 3, At that corresponding combinations, output is 1. Whenever there are even number of ones, the output is equivalent to 0. That is the reason this XOR gate is also called as odd parity generator, because wherever odd number of ones are present at the input side, output is 1. So that is the reason XOR gate is also called as odd parity generator. And the boolean expression or the logic function representation of this XOR gate is plus symbol followed by a circle. So C equal to A plus circle, that plus symbol, it is the notation for the exclusive OR gate. So XOR gate is also called as odd parity generator, or it is also called as anti-coincidence or inequality gate. Inequality itself indicates whenever the inputs are not equal, then only it is detecting that. Now let me tell you one simple example for the exclusive OR gate. So in case of an exclusive OR gate, let a bulb is placed in the first floor. So here a bulb is placed in the first floor whenever you are going through a staircase. So at the staircase you are having a bulb. For the same bulb you will be having two switches. One is at the starting of your staircase, that is at the ground floor, and the other switch is present at the ending of your staircase, which is nothing but in the first floor. So whenever you want to switch on that bulb, that is both the ground floor switch position should be exactly opposite towards the switch position in the first floor. When both the switches are in the different position, then only the bulb is going to be glown. Whenever both the switches are in the same position, that both the switches may be either in the on position or in the off position, the bulb is not going to be glown. So here that is a simple example for an XOR gate. So whenever you are entering to the first floor, you will be switching on that, so that switch is on at the ground floor, but the switch is off at the first floor. Once you go on going towards the first floor, again you will be pressing a switch button at the first floor. So here that itself indicates you are making use of a ground floor switch as well as a first floor switch. Whenever both the switch positions are in the opposite direction, then only the bulb is going to be on. When both the switch positions are in the same direction, the bulb is off. This is a basic example for an exclusive OR gate. The next and the last type of gate is nothing but exclusive NOR gate. So here NOR itself indicates the complement of XOR gate is nothing but XNOR gate. So here if we observe the symbolic representation of this XNOR gate, this XNOR gate is having same thing as that of the XOR. The only difference is we'll be adding a NOT gate or a bubble at the output of an XOR gate. So here the truth table will also be just reverse to that of the XOR gate. Whenever both the inputs are same, the output is 1. Whenever both the inputs are different, the output is equivalent to 0. Or in simple words, we can also say that this XNOR gate is also called as equality gate. That is, whenever both the inputs are, this equality and coincidence is specifically valid only for the two input XOR and XNOR gates. It is not a generalized statement, it is statement which is valid only for two input. If I want to say it as an odd parity or even parity, then it is a generalized. So here if I am saying it as a two input, then only I can say whether it may be a coincidence, equality, inequality or anti-coincidence gate. So here two input XNOR gate is called as an equality gate or coincidence gate. If I want to make this as a generalized statement, I can say that whenever there are even number of ones, output is 1. Whenever there are odd number of ones, output is equivalent to 0. That is the reason it is also called as even parity generator. So the exclusive NOR gate is also called as even parity generator. And the symbolic notation for this exclusive NOR gate is A XOR gate B whole complement, or in the other words we can represent A dot B. That dot should be circled. So in the exclusive OR gate we are circling the plus symbol, but whereas in case of the XNOR gate we are keeping a dot, we will be circling the dot. So both are equal. Either you can write A XOR B whole complement, or A dot circle the dot, and B is nothing but an exclusive NOR gate. If you remember, these XOR gate and exclusive NOR gates both are used in terms of a communications, that is wherever we are transmitting our information using a parity generators and checkers. That is, if you remember, we have discussed these topics in the last session, which is nothing but an Hamming code. So in case of an Hamming code, in order to detect and correct a single error, will be using a parity bits. So these parity bits may be either the even parity bits or odd parity bits. So in order to generate either even parity or an odd parity, we can use either an XOR gate or an XNOR gate. These are the basic gates which will be using in terms of the Boolean functions and its significance. Coming to the actual concept, which is nothing but a Boolean algebra. So here a Boolean algebra is a mathematical system which defines a series of logical operators. So here a logical operators are nothing but basic logical operations which are AND, OR, NOT, and all these three are the basic operations which are performed on the variables. So if we are performing any logic operations on variables, such a mathematical system is called as a Boolean algebra. So in case of a Boolean algebra, we will be dealing with two things. One is Boolean constants and the other one is Boolean variables. Here constants itself indicates, here we are representing the values as a fixed values. That fixed value may be either 0 or 1. So if we are representing in terms of fixed values, those are called as a Boolean constants. If you are representing these in terms of the alphabets, then it is called as a Boolean variables. So here in case of a Boolean variables, we are representing the expressions. So Boolean variables consist of some expressions, but whereas Boolean constants consist of some fixed values. So, and if just now we have discussed about 7 gates, but all these 7 gates are not the basic gates. Only AND, OR and NOT gates are basic gates. By using these basic gates, we have derived the 4 more gates. So on the 4 basic gates are only 3. Those 3 are nothing but AND gate, OR gate and NOT gate. By using 3, we have derived the secondary gates. Those gates are NAND gate, NOR gate, XOR gate and XNOR gates. Coming to the next one, which is nothing but Boolean identities. So here Boolean identities itself indicates just we are giving an output in such a way that, as we have seen, that there are basic 3 functions. One is AND function, OR function and a NOT function. So these AND, OR and NOT are the basic functions which are dealing in terms of the Boolean functions. And as we have said that this Boolean algebra consists of two things. One is Boolean variables and the other one is Boolean constant. Here I am giving a relationship between the Boolean variables as well as Boolean constants. Such an identities are called as an Boolean identities. So in case of a Boolean identities, I am going to give a I'm going to give a relation, I'm going to make a relationship between the constants as well as the variables. So here, as I have told you, here AND function is nothing but a dot. So here the first four cases I am dealing with constants, the next four cases I am dealing with constants followed by a variables. So here, as I am having two constants, one is 0 and 1, I'll be getting four combinations: 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. So here, as just now we have discussed, the AND function is nothing but dot. So 0 dot 0 is 0, 0 dot 1 is 0, 1 dot 0 is 0, 1 dot 1 is 1. So in the first four I am relating only with the constant terms. If I want to correlate these with that of the variables, that is a dot 0, if we are multiplying anything with 0, the output is also 0. Similarly, 0 dot a is also 0. A dot 1, whatever the thing which you want to multiply with 1, you'll be getting the resultant as that variable. So a dot 1 is a, 1 dot a is also a. And the second one is here, the important thing which we need to remember is the last one, that is a dot a. So how can you say that a dot a is a? Here we are not dealing with any actual mathematical thing. We don't assume it as a dot a is a square. We are not dealing with squares, cubes or the other things. Here a itself indicates that a may consist of two things. One is either 0 or 1. So for the first time, assume a value as 0. So if once a is 0, 0 dot 0 is 0. If we assume a as 1, 1 dot 1 is 1. So whatever the a value which you are taking, the same a value you are getting as the output. That is the reason a dot a is equivalent to a. And the last one is a dot a complement equal to 0. Here a dot a complement is nothing but an opposite or a NOT gate. So if a is assumed as 0, a complement will be 1. 0 dot 1 is 0. If a is assumed as 1, a complement is 0, 1 dot 0 is 0. So if the inputs are in the complemented form, the output is 0. This is all about an AND function. Similarly, we are dealing with OR function. The first four rows of a OR function is nothing but a simple OR gate output. 0 OR with 0 is 0, 0 OR with 1 is 1, 1 OR with 0 is 1, 1 OR with 1 is 1. Similarly, the second are relating the Boolean constants with that of the variables. A OR with 0. If a is 0, 0 OR with 0 is 0. If a is 1, 1 OR with 0 is 1. Means whatever the a value which you are taking, the same output you are getting. That is the reason a OR with 0 is equivalent to a. Similarly, 0 OR with a is equivalent to a. So wherever you are having a confusion in such a way that whether it may be a or 0 or 1, wherever you are having a Boolean variables, assume that variable one time as 0, one time as 1. So let us see a OR with 1. If a is 0, 0 OR with 1 is 1. If a is 0, output is 1. Even if a is 1, 1 OR with 1 is 1. So whatever may be the a value, irrespective of the a value, always the output is equivalent to 1. So in this way we can able to write down the Boolean identities for AND function, OR function as well as an NOT function. The next one is Boolean laws. So here the Boolean laws are nothing but whatever the laws which we have seen in general mathematics are commutative law, distributive law, associative law. All these three laws are applicable even in terms of the Boolean function. So here commutative law itself indicates a dot b is equivalent to b dot a. So here a dot b, So here, as I am using two variables, I'll be getting four different combinations: 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. So in order to prove this, what we need to do is we need to write down a truth table in such a way that the first column is A, second column is B, third column is A dot B, fourth column is B dot A. So as we are having the inputs as A and B, will be having four different combinations: 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1 under A and B columns. 0 dot 0 is 0, 0 dot 1 is 0, 1 dot 0 is 0, 1 dot 1 is 1. So I am writing the third column, which is equal to A dot B. Similarly, B dot A, first take the variable of B column followed by A column. If third column is equivalent to fourth column, we can say that A dot B is equivalent to B dot A. Similarly, if you are having three variables, we will be having the combinations of 8 combinations from 0 0 0 to 111. That is, you will be having the decimal equivalents of 0 to 7. So in simple, you can able to prove the commutative law, distributive law, associative law by taking the truth table only in the zeros and ones. Coming to the actual laws which we'll be using in case of a boolean function, booleans are absorption law. So here, absorption law, De Morgan's law, and duality theorem, these are the important things which we need to discuss now. So here, the next type of theorem is nothing but consonance theorem. So what is the basic difference between a laws and theorems? Are theorems can be proved, but the laws are nothing but the things which are a validated functions. So here, consonance theorem states that AB plus A bar C plus BC. So here we are having left side of three variables. One is AB, second is A bar C, third is BC, which is equivalent to AB plus A bar C. Or in simple words, I can give the other way of the consonance theorem as such a way that whatever the variable, let me take for this theorem 1, the variable A should be present once in the complemented form and the other time in the uncomplemented form. So in the first case we are having AB, and the second case we are having A complemented C. In order to prove this, now let me apply the previous laws and identities which we have studied till now. So here I am taking the first two, that is AB plus A bar C as it is. For the third expression, that is for BC, I am multiplying BC with A plus A bar. So A plus A bar is 1. So as A plus A bar is 1, 1 into BC is BC. So without changing anything, just I am adding for the third BC, for the third variable of BC, I am just multiplying with A plus A bar. Now I am expanding. So AB plus A bar C plus ABC plus A bar BC. Now from the first term and the third term, so here first term is AB, third term is ABC. So from the first and third term, I am making a common terms which are nothing but AB. So if I am taking a AB, the leftover is 1 plus C. Similarly, from the second and fourth, I am taking A bar C as common, so the leftover is 1 plus B. Here 1 plus B or 1 plus C. It is not a compulsion that always the variable should have only A. You can have any variable of A to Z. So 1 plus any value is 1 plus 0 is nothing but 1. 1 plus 1 is, that is nothing but OR operation. 1 OR with 1 is also 1. So here 1 plus C is equivalent to 1. 1 dot AB is AB. Similarly 1 plus B is 1. 1 multiplied with A bar C is A bar C. So we can prove that left hand side is equivalent to right hand side. Similarly, the second theorem of consonance theorem is no need to Butify these theorems, just remember in such a way that the consonance theorem should have three variables. Among three variables, the resultant variable should be in such a way that one should be in the complemented form and the other should be in the uncomplemented form, and the variables which are present in both the cases should be of different value. Now coming to the theorem 2. In simple words, I can say that just I am applying a concept of duality. So here what is meant by a duality is replacing dot with plus, plus with dot, 0 with 1 and 1 with 0. Now let me take a theorem 1 statement. So here theorem 1 is AB plus A bar C plus BC. So here AB. So in between A and B there is a dot. I am applying a duality theorem for this. Duality is nothing but dot is replaced with plus, plus is replaced with dot. So here A plus B into, here wherever plus is there just to replace with dot, into A bar plus C, again into B plus C, which should be is equivalent to A plus B into A bar plus C. So here as it is having in terms of the multiplicatives, just multiply that and applies the law sign identities. So here A plus B into A bar plus C into B plus C. The first variables are A dot A bar. So A dot A bar is equivalent to 0. The next is AC. The next one is A bar B. The next one is BC. Similarly, whatever the result which we are getting now, again multiply with B plus C, so that we can prove that left hand side is equivalent to right hand side. This is all about the consonance theorem. And the next one is transposition theorem. Here transposition theorem itself indicates that AB plus A bar C is equivalent to A plus C into A bar plus B. So here take down right hand side of this expression, just expand that expression and apply the laws and identities. We need to remember these theorem statements, and we need to prove this left hand side should be is equivalent to right hand side. So here A plus C into A bar plus B. So here the first case is A dot A bar, second is A dot B, third is A bar C, fourth is BC. But the thing is, just write down in an order, that is write down in a sequence of A, B, C and D. So here A dot A bar is 0, the second is A dot B, third is A bar C, fourth is BC. The last one just multiply with A plus A bar, because A plus A bar is equivalent to 1, 1 multiplied with BC is equivalent to BC. So here AB plus A bar C plus ABC plus A bar BC. So from the first and third I am taking AB as common, I am left over with 1 plus C. From the second and fourth I am taking it as A bar C and the leftover is 1 plus B. So the result is AB plus A bar C, which is nothing but proof for the transposition theorem. And the next most important theorems are De Morgan's theorem. So here, which is the most powerful theorem in case of an Boolean algebra. So in case of a De Morgan's theorem, here the De Morgan's theorem states that A plus B whole complement equal to A complement dot B complement. That is, the sum of whole complement is equivalent to individual complements followed by a dot. So wherever plus is there, you are replacing that plus with dot, and as you are splitting that, you are getting the complement individually. So in order to prove this Boolean function, just I have written here one example for the second law, that is A dot B whole complement, or in simple words here A plus B whole complement. Here plus is nothing but an AND gate. AND gate whole complement is NAND gate, or in simple words I can say that NAND gate is equivalent to individual complements of an OR gate. Similarly, NOR gate is equivalent to individual complements of an AND gate. So in order to prove that, here I am writing a truth table over here. The first column is A, second column is B. As I am having the complements individually, I am writing A complement followed by B complement. As I am proving for both the things, here I am writing A plus B followed by A dot B whole complement. So here, as I am having two variables A and B, I will be writing four expressions, four different combinations: 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So here A bar is nothing but the complement of A column will be the A bar, complement of B column will be the B bar, A plus B as well as A dot B. So here A plus B is nothing but AND gate, A dot B is an OR gate, A plus B whole complement is an NAND gate. So in this I am showing that A plus B whole complement is equivalent to A complement dot B complement. Similarly, A dot B whole complement equal to A So in the same table I am going to prove with both the things. So here A plus B, that is 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 1. Here plus is nothing but an OR operation. So 1 OR with OR is equivalent to 1. So here A plus B. Similarly, A dot B, which is an AND gate, 0 dot 0 is 0, 0 dot 1 is 0, 1 dot 0 is 0, 1 dot 1 is 1. A plus B whole complement. As I have already written the A plus B column, just I am complementing. Means wherever 0 is there 1, wherever 1 is there 0. Similarly, A dot B. Here A bar dot B bar. Here we have written A bar column separately and B bar column separately. Just multiply those two. And if you observe this, I can say that seventh column is equivalent to eighth column, which itself indicates that A plus B whole complement is equivalent to A complement dot B complement. Similarly, the last two columns are same, that is A dot B whole complement is equivalent to A complement plus B complement. Similarly, if we see the next example, A plus B plus C plus D plus so and on whole complement. Whole complement itself indicates wherever you are having plus symbol, just replace with dot and write down each and every individual variable with a complement. So A plus B plus C plus D whole complement equal to A bar dot B bar dot C bar dot D bar. Similarly, A B C D whole complement equal to A complement plus B complement plus C complement plus D complement. This is all about the De Morgan's theorem. And the last type of theorem is duality theorem. So duality theorem represents changing an AND sign into an OR sign and OR sign into an AND sign and changing 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. That is A plus A whole complement is equivalent to 1, A dot A whole complement is equivalent to 0. This is all about the laws and theorems of an Boolean expression. So in case of a duality theorem, just we are replacing OR with an and AND with an OR. Similarly, 0 with 1 and 1 with 0. But whereas in case of a De Morgan's theorem, just we are replacing OR with and AND with OR. Wherever it is uncomplemented form, we are doing into an complemented form. Wherever we are having complemented form, we are doing into an uncomplemented form. So the basic difference between a duality theorem and a De Morgan's theorem is, in case of a duality theorem, we are not only changing the OR and, we are also changing the constants of zeros and ones. So let us see some examples how to reduce these Boolean expressions based on the theorems and properties. So if you observe the first one, in the first one, that is Z is equivalent to AB plus AB into A bar C bar whole complement. So if we observe this, here the first thing is we need to perform the we need to apply the De Morgan's theorem, that is A bar C bar whole complement. So here A bar C bar whole complement is equivalent to A double complement plus C double complement. Wherever the complements are in the even numbers, both will be cancelled out. So the result which will be getting in the step 2 is AB plus AB into A plus C. So here AB plus AB into A plus C. So here A plus C itself indicates the third step is we need to multiply the variables of the second thing. So here the second thing are AB plus AB into, here we got, if we apply the De Morgan's, we got A bar C bar whole complement equal to A plus C. So we'll be getting AB plus AAB plus ABC. Here A dot A. So here in the step 3 we are getting three variables AB, AAB plus ABC. A dot A is A. So we'll be getting AB plus AB plus ABC. So here A plus A is A. So AB plus AB is also AB. So instead of having three variables, now we'll be getting only two variables, which is AB plus ABC. Now take AB as common, so leftover is 1 plus C. 1 plus C is 1. 1 multiplied with AB is AB. So if we observe the first example, in the given question there are three variables. Those three variables are A, B and C. But if you simplify this, we'll be getting a two variables of only AB. Similarly, if you observe the second one, I am having xy plus xyz plus xyz bar plus x bar yz. So in the first two, I can take xy as common, so the leftover is 1 plus z. So 1 plus z is nothing but 1. So xy into 1 plus z is 1. The remaining is xyz bar plus x bar yz. So in the step 2, I will be getting xy plus xyz bar plus x bar yz. Again from the first two, I can take xy as common, so leftover is 1 plus z bar. Either 1 plus a or 1 plus a bar is 1. So I will be getting xy plus x bar yz. Similarly, if you take y as common, leftover is x plus x bar z. That is a plus a bar b is equivalent to a plus b. So I can write x into x plus z. So this is how to reduce the Boolean functions by using laws and theorems. The main advantage of using these Boolean laws and theorems is, if an expression consists of n number of variables and gates. Now the first simple example is so in the first one, if I'm going to draw this expression for the first one, I need to have one AND gate for A dot B, second AND gate for A dot C, third AND gate for A bar C bar, and NOT gate. Fourth one is NOT gate for A bar C bar whole complement, and all those should be connected towards an OR gate. So in order to draw a simple expression of first one, I need to have 6 total gates. But once if you simplify these expressions, then if you draw the logic diagram, so I need to have only one AND gate. So the main advantage of simplifying these expressions using laws and theorems is the number of gates required before simplification is very high when compared to that of the after simplification. So once the number of gates are decreased, we can implement the same function with less number of gates. If the number of gates are reduced, then the space, that is the area required for that expression to derive is also less. And the second is, if the number of gates are reduced, the power consumption for the circuit is less. If the power consumption is less, the cost for the circuit is going to be reduced. So in order to reduce the power as well as cost of the circuit and to design the circuits most effectively, we are minimizing these expressions to as minimum as possible. This is the basic advantage of minimizing the Boolean expressions and by using these laws and theorems.